Are you over 60 and taking vitamin D to strengthen your bones? Please be careful. A study from the Journal of Nutrition shows that taking D3 the wrong way can increase your risk of arterial calcification, silently damaging your heart. Instead of protecting your bones, calcium could be ending up in your arteries. And the most alarming part, it happens quietly without any warning signs. Most older adults believe that just taking D3 is enough. But the truth is, without K2, D3 might send calcium in the wrong direction. Not to your bones, but to your heart, kidneys, and blood vessels, causing damage that can't be reversed. In this video, you'll discover why D3 must be paired with K2 and what really happens when this crucial piece is missing. Are you taking D3 every day? Without knowing, it could be putting your heart at risk. If you've ever taken vitamin D3 without even hearing about K2, comment yes or no below, and feel free to share any health concern you're facing. I'll personally reply to every comment because sometimes it's that one missing piece that quietly shifts the entire course of your health. Most people over 60 take vitamin D3 every day, believing it will protect their bones. It's a habit that feels responsible, even empowering. But what if that same habit done without the right partner could be silently harming your heart? Let's unpack that. Vitamin D3 plays a critical role in helping your body absorb calcium. But here's the part most people never hear. Absorbing calcium is only half the story. Once inside your body, calcium needs direction. Without clear instructions, it can settle into places it doesn't belong, like your arteries. That's where vitamin K2 comes in. Vitamin K2 is the guide, the traffic cop, the protector. It tells calcium, go to the bones, stay out of the heart. Without K2, your body has no way of keeping calcium out of your blood vessels. And that's where the real danger starts. Silent, slow, and devastating calcium begins to harden your arteries, putting enormous strain on your heart over time. One of the largest studies, the Rotterdam Study, found that people with the highest intake of vitamin K2 had a 57% lower risk of dying from heart disease. That's not a typo. 57%. And yet, how many people have never even heard of K2? How many are taking D3 daily, with no idea they might be guiding calcium toward disaster? If you've been doing this too, please don't feel guilty. You are trying to do the right thing. Now, you simply have better information. And here's the hopeful part. Adding K2 is easy, safe, and affordable. The MK7 form of K2 is the most effective, staying in the body longer. Experts typically recommend 90 to 120 micrograms per day for older adults, but always talk to your doctor. And it's not just about protecting your heart. With K2, the calcium you take finally does its job, strengthening your bones, supporting your mobility, giving you the confidence to move without fear. That's the goal, isn't it? So the next time you reach for your D3 bottle, ask yourself a simple question. Where's the K2? Because your bones need it. Your heart depends on it. And your future may just hinge on this one small addition. If you're still watching and found the first part helpful, please drop a quick 1 in the comments so I know you're walking this journey with me. Your voice matters. Most people over 60 are doing their best, taking vitamin D3 every morning because they were told it helps their bones. And that's true, partly. But here's the twist. What if I told you that without something called vitamin K2, all that calcium you're absorbing might be doing the exact opposite of what you intended? Think about it. You're taking D3 to strengthen your bones, but it's quietly flooding your bloodstream with calcium, and without the right guidance, that calcium doesn't always end up in your bones. Instead, it finds its way to the wrong places, your heart valves, arteries, even your kidneys. And that's where the danger lies. It's like hiring a moving company for your most precious belongings, and they deliver them to the wrong address. So here's the question no one is asking enough. Who's in charge of directing that calcium? That's where vitamin K2 comes in. It doesn't just sit on the sidelines. It activates a special protein called osteocalcin, which locks calcium into your bones and teeth. And more importantly, it switches on another protector matrix GLA protein, which tells calcium not to settle in soft tissues like arteries or kidneys. A 3-year study of older adults showed something fascinating. People who took vitamin D3 alone had a noticeable progression in artery calcification. But those who took D3 with K2, their arteries stayed healthier, more flexible, more youthful. So why isn't everyone taking K2? Partly because it's not well known, and partly because K2 doesn't come from the sun like D3 does. It's hidden in fermented foods like natto, which isn't exactly everyone's favorite, or in small amounts in meats and cheeses. That makes it easy to overlook, and dangerously easy to become deficient without realizing it. So let's get practical. If you're taking vitamin D3, especially over 1,000 IU per day, make sure your supplement also includes K2, preferably the MK7 or MK4 form. Experts suggest around 9,200 mcg per day for older adults, depending on your needs. And unless you're eating natto daily, which, let's be honest, most Americans aren't, a small capsule or liquid supplement might be your safest bet. Because here's the truth, even the best intention can turn into harm if one small piece is missing, and for your heart, bones, and arteries. K2 might just be that missing piece. But wait, what if you've been taking D3 for months or even years without K2? Is the damage already done? Let's talk about that next. What you do from here could change the course of your health moving forward. And what comes next is something most doctors never tell you. There's something ironic and heartbreaking about doing your best to stay healthy, only to later discover that your efforts may have quietly backfired. If you're over 60 and you've been faithfully taking vitamin D3 for your bones, this might be hard to hear. But too much D3 without its partner. K2 might be silently steering calcium to the wrong places, your arteries, kidneys, even your heart. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, have we misunderstood vitamin D all along? You see, we've been taught that vitamin D3 helps the body absorb calcium, which it does. But what if that's only half the story? What if D3 brings the calcium in, but forgets to show it where to go? That's where K2 enters the unsung hero that tells calcium, not there. Go to the bones. Stay out of the arteries. Without K2, that calcium might lodge in your blood vessels, harden them over time, and quietly increase your risk of heart disease without you ever feeling a thing. No warning signs, no obvious symptoms, just one supplement, taken alone, nudging your health in the wrong direction. A study from the Journal of Nutrition painted a powerful picture. Older adults who took both D3 and K2 had more stable artery walls, but those who took D3 alone, their vascular health worsened across just 3 years. That's not a theory. That's a real-world warning. So what can you do right now? Here's the simple truth. You don't need to stop taking vitamin D. You just need to make sure it has a co-pilot. Vitamin K2, especially in the MK4 or MK7 form, is what activates 2 key proteins in your body. Osteocalcin, which locks calcium into bones and teeth, and matrix GLA protein, which sweeps calcium out of soft tissues. Ideally, look for a supplement that combines D3 1,000 to 2,000 IU per day with around 100 to 200 mcg of K2. Take it with a meal containing healthy fats, like eggs or avocado, And if you're already taking blood thinners like warfarin, talk to your doctor first because vitamin K may interfere with those medications. But if there's one silent shift you can make today that will ripple positively across your heart, bones, and future, it's this. Don't let calcium become your enemy, because it was never the calcium's fault. It was the missing instructions, and now you have them. Before we move on, if you found the last section helpful, please give this video a like or comment below with the country you're watching from. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. Now, let's talk about something most people over 60 have never been clearly told. Not all vitamin K2s are the same, and choosing the wrong one could mean your heart and bones are still left unprotected. You might have seen K2 on a supplement label, not realizing whether it's MK4 or MK7. They're both forms of K2, yes, but the truth is they act very differently in the body. And that difference can decide whether calcium actually gets into your bones or quietly builds up in your arteries. Let's flip the narrative a bit. You've probably heard, just take K2 to keep your arteries safe. But what if the version you're taking doesn't stay in your body long enough to do its job? What if your body flushes it out before it even has a chance to guide calcium where it belongs? Here's what you need to know. MK4, the more common form, has a very short half-life. It only stays in your bloodstream for a few hours. That means unless you take it multiple times a day, its benefits vanish quickly. Some studies have shown inconsistent results for exactly this reason. Your body simply can't hold on to MK4 long enough for it to help. MK7, on the other hand, is a game changer. It has a much longer half-life, up to 72 hours. That means just one dose per day offers 3 full days of support. Calcium goes where it's supposed to. Blood vessels are protected, bones are strengthened, and you don't even have to think about it. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that MK7 significantly improved arterial flexibility, while also reducing early signs of calcification, especially in postmenopausal women. And beyond lab markers, long-term users reported easier movement, steadier blood pressure, and less joint discomfort. So how do you make the right choice? Here's a simple guide. Look for a supplement that says vitamin K2 MK7, preferably derived from natto, a fermented soybean dish from Japan, known for its high K2 content. An effective dose is usually around 90 to 200 mcg per day, taken with a fatty meal to boost absorption. And yes, it pairs perfectly with the vitamin D3 we discussed earlier. But here's something most people overlook. Many multivitamins only include MK4 or trace amounts of MK7, not enough to provide real protection. So if you're relying on your daily multivitamin to safeguard your heart and bones, you might be missing the most important piece of all. And the cost of that mistake. Osteoporosis creeps in slowly, but arterial calcification doesn't wait. It progresses silently until one day it becomes a heart attack or stroke when all the warnings come too late. Now you know the difference between MK4 and MK7. Don't let the label fool you. Choose the version that stays longer, works harder, and quietly protects you even when you're not paying attention. And if you think that was surprising, just wait until the next part. There's one vitamin you're likely taking every day thinking it supports blood flow, but it may actually be thickening your blood and silently raising your cardiovascular risk. And chances are, you've never been warned about it. If you're still watching and finding this information helpful, leave a comment with the number 1 so I know you're walking this journey with me because you're actively protecting your heart and your bones right now. There's a dangerous myth I've heard far too often. Vitamin D is just a supplement, the more, the better. But the truth is, taking high doses of D3 without supervision could push you into a health crisis called hypercalcemia excess calcium in the blood. Have you ever felt unusually tired, nauseous, or excessively thirsty without much activity? These could be the earliest signs that your body is drowning in calcium, and the scariest part is, you might just blame it on age or the weather. D3 dramatically increases calcium absorption. But if the levels of D3 in your bloodstream get too high without the guidance of vitamin K2, that calcium won't know where to go. And when that happens, it chooses the quietest places to settle your arteries, your heart valves, your kidneys. The result, calcium is no longer a builder, it becomes a silent clogger, leading to vascular calcification, kidney stones, and even stroke. A 2021 study published in Frontiers in Cardiovascular Medicine showed that people with D3 levels above 100 ng/ml, but without sufficient K2, had a 27% higher risk of coronary artery calcification. One small misstep in dosage could lead to a lifetime of consequences. So what's considered safe? Experts at the Mayo Clinic recommend maintaining D3 levels between 40 and 70 ng/ml, avoiding anything over 100 ng/ml unless medically advised. Here's what you can do today. Get your vitamin D levels checked. If you're taking a supplement, look closely at the dosage. And never take high-dose D3 without K2, even if you feel healthy. Because taking D3 without K2 is like driving a speeding car with no brakes. It might feel fine until it doesn't. And what I'm about to share next may completely change how you see your heart. There's a group of people who, just because of a medication they thought was harmless, experienced increased blood vessel damage and lost control of their blood pressure. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Did you know that many older adults are silently damaging their arteries even when they're taking vitamin D the right way simply because they're combining it with the wrong medication? Every day, millions of Americans over 60 take blood thinners like warfarin and Coumadin. And here's the hidden danger: these medications interact directly and dangerously with vitamin K, including both K1 and K2. If you're taking D3 with K2 and also on Coumadin without knowing the risks, you could be unknowingly disrupting your blood's clotting balance. This doesn't just raise the risk of sudden internal bleeding, it also cancels out the vascular protection that D3K2 is supposed to provide. This isn't just theory. A study published in the British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology found that combining vitamin K2 with vitamin K antagonists like warfarin increased the risk of clotting complications by 2 to 3 times in older adults who weren't under close medical supervision. What seems like a smart supplement choice could lead to dangerous, unforeseen consequences. So what should you do if you're taking a blood thinner? The first and most important rule: always consult your doctor before adding K2 to your supplement routine. In some specific cases, it may be safe, but only with close monitoring and regular blood tests. If you can't take supplemental K2, there's still a more natural path. Leafy green vegetables rich in K1 can be a safe source. And with medical guidance, you might also try small amounts of natto or fermented egg to get a gentler dose of K2. Solutions exist, you just need to know what you're taking and how it affects your body. But do you know what's even worse? There are everyday foods many seniors eat regularly that could be blocking your body's ability to absorb D3 and K2 entirely, making all your efforts pointless. And that's exactly what I'll show you next. Have you ever felt like your supplements just aren't working? Like you've been faithfully taking vitamin D3 and K2, yet your bones still ache. Your legs feel weak, and your energy hasn't returned. What if the problem isn't what you're taking, but what you're eating with it? Most seniors don't know this. There are common, everyday foods that can block the absorption of vitamin D3 and K2, making your supplements almost useless. And the worst part, these foods are often eaten during breakfast, right when people are taking their vitamins. Let me explain. If you're pairing your morning D3 pill with a bowl of bran cereal, so spinach smoothie, or even coffee with too much calcium-rich creamer, you could be sabotaging the entire process. That's because oxalates and phytic acid, found in high-fiber cereals and certain leafy greens like spinach, bind to calcium and fat-soluble vitamins, including D and K, and prevent them from being absorbed properly. A study from the Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed that calcium absorption dropped by over 50% when consumed with high oxalate foods like spinach. That means your D3 is trying to help get calcium into your bones, but your breakfast is flushing it right out. And it's not just food. Caffeine, even in 1 or 2 cups of coffee, can temporarily reduce calcium absorption by 20 to 30%, especially when consumed without sufficient vitamin D. Imagine this. You pop your D3 and K2 pills, sip your coffee, and feel like you've done something great for your health. But in reality, you've just undone most of it. So how can you fix this? It's simple but powerful. Take your D3 K2 supplements with a meal rich in healthy fats, low in oxalate, and away from caffeine. Think scrambled eggs cooked in olive oil, a piece of salmon, or avocado toast. These help boost the absorption and effectiveness of both vitamins. And if your breakfast routine includes coffee, just wait at least 1 hour after taking your vitamins. That small timing change can make a big difference. Now, if you've been doing all the right things but not seeing results, this might just be your missing puzzle piece. But be warned, the next mistake is even more common and far more dangerous. It's not about what you're taking, but how much. And the risks, they can be irreversible. Let's uncover it together. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever believed that if a little vitamin D is good, then more must be even better? It's a common thought. But for older adults, that belief can quietly turn into a dangerous trap, especially when taking high doses of vitamin D3 without ever checking your blood levels. What most people don't realize is this too much D3 can cause calcium to build up in the wrong places in your arteries, kidneys, and heart. This is no longer just a theory. It's a well-documented condition called vitamin D toxicity, leading to hypercalcemia when your blood calcium levels rise beyond safe limits. And when calcium goes off track, it doesn't just abandon your bones, it silently harms your body. Many seniors who've taken high-dose D3 for months without blood testing or K2 support have faced kidney stones, hardened arteries, or valve calcification. These changes happen slowly, quietly, and often irreversibly. A review from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition makes it clear vitamin D is essential, but its safe range is narrow. Once your blood D levels exceed 100 nmol, your risk skyrockets. And here's the catch. Many supplements on the market offer 5,000 or even 10,000 IU per dose. Imagine taking that every day for months, without knowing your internal levels. That's why regular testing is critical. Just like you monitor your blood pressure or cholesterol, your vitamin D should be checked, especially if you're supplementing daily. So what should you do? Follow this simple roadmap. Step 1. Get your 25-hydroxy vitamin D blood test, either at a clinic or via a home test kit. Step 2. If results show under 30 ng/ml, supplementation may be needed, but consult your doctor. Step 3. If levels are over 60 ng/ml, be cautious. You may need to reduce your dose or take it less frequently. Step 4. Always pair D3 with K2, preferably MK7 or MK4 to ensure calcium goes where it's needed. Your bones, not your blood vessels. Step 5. After 2 to 3 months, test again to stay safely within the 40 to 70 ng/ml range. Remember, more isn't always better. Balance is the real key to health. And perhaps this one simple step checking before you supplement could be the shield that protects your heart and bones in the long run. But we're not done yet. There's one final truth I want you to hear. It doesn't lie in any pill or plate, but in a small bedtime habit. And that may be the last missing piece that helps you sleep deeply, regain balance, and rebuild the strength you thought was lost. Let's uncover it in the next section. We've just uncovered one of the most overlooked risks in senior health, how vitamin D3 without enough K2 can quietly redirect calcium to the wrong places, damaging your heart, kidneys, and joints over time. If you're still here with me, thank you. It means you care deeply about your health, and that choice, to understand before it's too late, may be one of the most important decisions you make. I know it's not just about vitamin. It's about that strange skip in your heartbeat during a walk, that back pain you've been blaming on getting older, or the supplements you've trusted for years suddenly becoming a source of doubt. But here's the truth. One small change at the right time, in the right way, can bring back clarity, strength, and peace of mind. You are not alone in this journey. I've read your comments. I've listened to your stories. And that's why I create these videos, not to scare you, but to walk with you. If today's message hit home, if you felt something click, drop just one word in the comments. Awakened. That one word tells me you're still here, still choosing to protect your health, still fighting for the life you deserve. And if you haven't yet hit the like button, and make sure you subscribe. It helps this message reach others who might be one decision away from a silent health mistake. Share this with someone you care about because you might just be saving their life. Let me leave you with this. It's not the big, dramatic moments that break our health. It's the tiny daily mistakes we repeat without knowing. But it's also the smallest daily corrections done right that can save us. In the next video, I'll show you one simple bedtime habit that helps your body start healing every night. Don't miss it.